Welcome, ghost enthusiasts. Have you ever wondered what lurks behind the bars of America's most infamous prisons? Today, we're diving into the shadows as we explore 15 infamous haunted prisons in America. From chilling, ghostly apparitions to the eerie echoes of history, each prison has a haunting tale to tell. Get ready to uncover the dark secrets and spine-chilling stories that have made these places notorious for more than just their infamous inmates. 1. Eastern State Penitentiary, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The story begins on a cold, foggy night at Eastern State Penitentiary, where the shadows of its Gothic architecture loom ominously against the moonlit sky. As a former inmate, Alex recalls the days spent in solitary confinement, a fate worse than death for many. The echoes of cries for help still haunt the halls. Visitors often report hearing faint whispers in the eerie silence, as if the walls themselves are alive with the anguished voices of the past. One night, as Alex explores the crumbling cells, he feels an ice-cold breath on his neck, turning to see the fleeting image of a man in tattered prison garb. "Help me," the specter pleads, before vanishing into thin air, leaving Alex shivering in fear. The prison's history of brutal treatment and despair has etched itself into the very stones, ensuring that the spirits of the lost will never truly rest. 2. Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary, San Francisco, California. On the infamous island of Alcatraz, the ghosts of notorious criminals linger amidst the decaying walls. The tale follows Sarah, a ghost hunter who has come to uncover the prison's secrets. Armed with her camera, she ventures into the dimly lit halls, where the atmosphere feels thick with despair. As she reaches cell block D, she captures an unexplained mist swirling in the air. Suddenly, a chilling voice whispers, "Get out." Heart racing, Sarah turns to flee but stumbles upon the ghostly figure of Al Capone, playing his banjo in the corner. "Stay and listen," he beckons, and for a moment, the haunting melody fills the air, blurring the lines between the living and the dead. As the music fades, so does Capone, leaving Sarah in stunned silence, the weight of the island's history pressing down upon her. 3. Ohio State Reformatory, Mansfield, Ohio, in the desolate halls of Ohio State Reformatory, the story of a tortured spirit unfolds. John, a paranormal investigator, arrives at the notorious facility, known for its harsh conditions and violent history. As he sets up his equipment, he feels an unshakable sense of being watched. Entering the solitary confinement area, he hears a soft sobbing echoing through the empty rooms. Following the sound, he finds the spirit of a young inmate, shackled to the wall, tears streaming down her translucent cheeks. "They didn't believe me," she whispers, her voice barely audible. With a trembling hand, John reaches out, and for a brief moment, their hands touch, sending a surge of energy through him. The sorrow in her eyes tells a tale of lost hope, and as she fades away, John vows to share her story, a reminder of the lives forever affected by the prison's dark legacy. 4. West Virginia Penitentiary, Moundsville, West Virginia. The haunting legacy of West Virginia Penitentiary grips the small town of Moundsville. A group of friends, eager for a thrill, decides to explore the abandoned structure one stormy night. Armed with flashlights, they enter the building, where the air is thick with the scent of decay. Suddenly, a loud crash reverberates through the halls, and they freeze in place. Shadows flicker along the walls, and one friend, Lisa, feels a cold hand grip her shoulder. Whirling around, she sees the ghostly figure of a guard, his face twisted in anguish. "Leave now," he warns, gesturing toward the exit. Heart pounding, the group races to escape, but not before catching a glimpse of the solitary confinement cells, where tortured souls whisper their final words. As they stumble outside, the echo of their terror lingers, a reminder of the souls trapped within. 5. Old Montana Prison. Deer Lodge, Montana, the old Montana prison, stands as a testament to the dark past of its inmates. As evening descends, a historian named Mike arrives to document the stories buried within its walls. With each step, the ground seems to pulse with energy, whispering secrets of those who once roamed here. As he reaches the execution chamber, Mike feels a sudden chill and hears a low, mournful wail. Looking around, he catches sight of a spectral figure, an inmate who was once condemned to death. "I was innocent," the ghost laments, his eyes filled with pain. Mike, compelled by empathy, asks him to share his story, and the ghost recounts the events that led to his tragic fate. With each word, the air grows heavier, as if the weight of injustice is being lifted. As the sun sets, Mike promises to honor his memory, ensuring that the truth of the wrongfully accused will live on. 6. Missouri State Penitentiary, Jefferson City, Missouri. The Missouri State Penitentiary, often called the bloodiest 47 acres in America, is steeped in violence and despair. The chilling tale follows Emily, a paranormal investigator who enters the prison determined to uncover its dark secrets. As she wanders through the echoing halls, she feels an unsettling presence, a shadow lurking just out of sight. In the darkness, she hears the sound of chains rattling and the distant cries of inmates. Suddenly, a ghostly figure appears, a former prisoner pleading for help. "We were never free," he whispers, his voice filled with anguish. Emily's heart races as she realizes that the souls of the unjustly punished still roam these grounds. She vows to share their stories, giving a voice to those silenced by a brutal past. 7. Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary, Petros, Tennessee. Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary holds a sinister reputation for its brutal history. The story centers around a couple, Jake and Sarah, who venture into the decaying prison on Halloween night. As they explore the crumbling walls, they hear unsettling noises and whispers that seem to call their names. Suddenly, they find themselves in a dimly lit corridor where a figure appears, a spectral inmate, his face twisted in despair. "Help me find my way," he begs, his voice echoing through the dark. Intrigued, Jake and Sarah decide to assist him, but as they navigate deeper into the prison, they uncover the grim realities of his past, witnessing scenes of violence and despair. The spirits of those lost in the prison's depths linger, their stories intertwined with the couple's fate. With each revelation, they realize that some spirits may never find peace, and they must escape before becoming part of the haunting tale. 8. Yuma Territorial Prison. Yuma, Arizona. Yuma Territorial Prison, with its scorching sun and bleak history, is home to restless spirits. The tale unfolds as a family, visiting the historic site, decides to explore its haunted corners. As night falls, the atmosphere shifts, and they feel an inexplicable chill. The youngest daughter, Lily, wanders off, drawn by the faint sound of laughter. Following the sound, she discovers a ghostly figure of a child playing in the yard, his laughter echoing eerily. "Come play with me," he invites. But as Lily approaches, she sees the anguish in his eyes, realizing he is trapped in a time long gone. The family rushes to her side, only to witness the child fade into the shadows. They leave the prison with a heavy heart, understanding that the spirits of Yuma still seek companionship in their eternal game. 9. Old Charleston Jail, Charleston, South Carolina. The Old Charleston Jail holds a grim history of notorious criminals and tragic tales. The story begins with a group of tourists who decide to take a guided ghost tour of the historic site. As the guide recounts the story of Lavinia Fisher, America's first female serial killer, the atmosphere grows tense. Suddenly, the lights flicker, and the group feels an unsettling presence surrounding them. A chill sweeps through the room as Lavinia's spirit appears, her eyes filled with sorrow and rage. "They thought I was a monster," she cries, revealing her tragic past. The group, captivated by her story, realizes that even the most notorious figures have tales of pain and loss. As the tour concludes, they leave with a sense of understanding, forever haunted by Lavinia's tragic fate. 10. Wyoming Frontier Prison. Rawlins, Wyoming. In the isolated wilderness of Wyoming, the frontier prison stands as a relic of a harsh past. The narrative follows a group of thrill-seekers who decide to spend a night locked inside its walls. As they settle in, they hear unsettling sounds and feel a sense of foreboding. One of them, Chris, ventures into the solitary confinement area, where the air grows thick with despair. He encounters a ghostly figure of a former inmate, his face twisted in torment. "You must remember us," the ghost pleads, urging Chris to share their story. Moved by the spirit's anguish, Chris promises to honor their memory. As dawn breaks, the group escapes the prison, forever changed by the encounter and the haunting reminder of the lives lost within its walls. 11. Idaho State Penitentiary. Boise, Idaho. Idaho State Penitentiary, with its imposing walls, hides a dark past. The story follows a journalist named Rebecca, who arrives to investigate the prison's notorious reputation. Armed with her camera, she explores the halls, where the air is thick with tension. As she approaches the execution chamber, she hears a chilling voice whisper, "Help us." Startled, she turns to see a ghostly figure of a former warden, his face a mask of regret. "I tried to protect them," he laments, revealing the dark choices he made. Captivated, Rebecca records his story, knowing that it deserves to be told. As she leaves the prison, she carries the weight of the warden's pain, determined to bring the stories of the lost souls to light. 12. Laurel Hill Cemetery and the Philadelphia County Prison Ruins, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In the historic grounds of Laurel Hill Cemetery, the ruins of the Philadelphia County Prison tell a haunting tale. The story revolves around a cemetery tour guide named Tom, who shares tales of the dead while standing near the crumbling prison walls. As night falls, he recounts the story of a notorious inmate who was buried nearby, a figure rumored to roam the grounds seeking justice. Suddenly, a gust of wind blows through the trees, and Tom feels a presence behind him. Turning, he sees a spectral figure emerging from the shadows, its face twisted in sorrow. "I need to be remembered," the ghost pleads, reminding Tom that even the dead deserve to be honored. Moved by the spirit's plea, Tom promises to share its story, ensuring that the legacy of the forgotten will live on. 13. Detroit House of Correction, Dahoco, Plymouth Township, Michigan. The abandoned Detroit House of Correction is shrouded in tales of despair and haunting encounters. The story unfolds with a group of urban explorers who decide to venture into the dilapidated building. As they navigate the crumbling halls, they encounter strange noises and fleeting shadows. One explorer, Mike, feels a cold breeze pass through him and hears a whisper, "Help me." Following the sound, he discovers the ghostly figure of a former inmate, pleading for assistance. "They didn't believe me," the spirit cries, revealing the injustice that led to their imprisonment. Moved by the ghost's pain, Mike vows to share the story, becoming a voice for those who suffered in silence, ensuring they are not forgotten. 14. Old Licking County Jail, Newark, Ohio. The Old Licking County Jail is notorious for its haunting past and restless spirits. The narrative follows a paranormal research team who sets out to investigate the site. As they enter the jail, the air feels electric, charged with the energy of the lost souls who once resided within. They set up their equipment and begin their search, but soon hear disembodied voices echoing through the halls. One investigator, Sarah, feels a cold hand grasp her wrist, pulling her into a dark cell. There, she encounters the spirit of a former prisoner, eyes pleading for release. "You have to tell my story," he urges, revealing the horrors he faced within the jail's walls. Moved by his plight, Sarah promises to honor his memory, sharing the tale of suffering and injustice with the world. 15. Fremont County Jail, Cannon City, Colorado. The old Fremont County Jail, with its oppressive atmosphere, holds the spirits of those who faced a grim fate. The story centers around a local historian, David, who decides to explore the jail's haunted reputation. Armed with his notebook, he enters the dark, musty halls, where the echoes of the past whisper through the air. As he explores, he encounters the ghostly figure of a former sheriff, his face lined with sorrow. "I couldn't save them," the spirit laments, revealing the tragic choices that haunted him during his tenure. David listens intently, capturing the sheriff's story, understanding the weight of regret that lingers in the air. As he leaves the jail, he carries with him the knowledge that every haunting is a story waiting to be told, a reminder of the lives once lived within those walls. Thank you for joining us on this eerie journey through 15 infamous haunted prisons in America. Which haunting story sent chills down your spine? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you've ever visited any of these haunted locations, we'd love to hear your experiences. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another spine-tingling adventure with us. Until next time, keep your lights on and your mind open to the supernatural.